morning, everyone. It's Saturday, April 25th, 2009. Still have that southwest swell in the water. That's going to be fading over the next few days. It's been a while since I last updated any of these swell scan videos, and of course been busy in the water and also busy with a lot of other crazy stuff going on in my life right now. But besides that, there hasn't really been a whole lot to talk about, so I've kind of laxed off a little bit on updating these videos, but I wanted to give you a breakdown of what will be happening, even though the future and the near term doesn't look all that great surf-wise. A little bit of activity down in the southern hemisphere will be bringing a small little burst in around Wednesday the 29th. Not a whole lot after that. A little bit of something coming up maybe around the 2nd. Wind swell forming near the coast, but for the near term, we've got a problem with some of the weather and wind issues. A lot of troughing is going to be pushing down on our region, increasing the onshore flow. So I wanted to keep you updated, at least what's happening across the Pacific. This is what's happening on the models right now. Take a look at the weather models. We can see why we're starting to see those wind problems and why they're continuing. Still have low pressure pushing down towards Southern California. High pressure is located way off in the Pacific, so no more of that heat wave. We've got high pressure that's far away from Southern California to do us any good as far as weather and winds are concerned. Spinning the models forward in time, we can still see there's a lot of red around California. That's indicative of low pressure. High pressure moving far into the Gulf of Alaska. In fact, when we spin the models even more, a little bit farther out in time, we can see here about 48 hours out, high pressure would be way up near Alaska. A lot of troughing being down over California and Southern California. And as we spin the models even out more in time, we can see even more low pressure systems want to descend towards Southern California. That'd be increasing our onshore flow, bringing tight gradients to the coast, and of course an increasing wind. So we're looking at an onshore flow and wind pattern continuing through at least the beginning of next week. Taking a look at what's happening though right now, this is a look at the periods on the current analysis in the northern hemisphere. Still see a lot of that southern hemi energy sitting out off the coast ready to come in. That's going to be shorter period stuff. It's not going to have a whole lot of energy. This swell that we're seeing now is going to be fading over the next few days, not a whole lot on tap after that. But taking a look across the Pacific, we can start seeing what's happening. Not a whole lot of activity, a lot of tumbleweeds blowing around, but that's about it. Nothing that's really going to be bringing us anything significant. There's an Aleutian dud that's going to be going way up into the Aleutians. That thing only has 18-foot seas. That's minor. Little touch of wind swell off the northern coast. Really not a whole lot for Southern California in the near term. As we spin the models forward in time, still not much of a change. Still not looking at much of anything forming along the California coast. As another low pressure system, though, starts diving down, as was shown on those weather models, a little bit of wind swell should form off our coast in about 48 to 72 hours. But conditions are probably looking about kind of crappy by then. More wind would probably be picking up during the beginning of the week. Drizzle, heavy onshore flow. Taking a look down at the southern hemisphere, this is what could bring us a little bit of something around the 2nd, but we should be seeing something on the 29th, Wednesday the 29th, from a small little system that was around Pitcairn. But as we can see, just not a whole lot's been happening on the southern hemisphere. These systems, as you're seeing on this model, this is only 18, 20 feet, maybe a little over 20 feet max. Not a whole lot happening. 24 hours out, still not a whole lot of change. A lot of small stuff happening down in the southern hemisphere, kind of quiet. Nice pattern developing as far as the trajectory for any of these storms, but still just not a whole lot of anything happening. Small stuff, even 48 hours out. Taking a look a little bit even farther out in time, we go out 72 hours, see a little bit of red starting to show up, but our systems are still small and really not angled ideally to bring us any surf in Southern California. So things still not looking too bad this weekend. Not much of an onshore flow, still have it out there, but nothing like what we're going to be seeing early next week as more troughing and low pressure systems move down the coast. So we should be enjoying that southern hemisphere a little bit more on Sunday. Still should see some fairly clear, fair weather, but somewhat onshore winds in the afternoon. But the beginning of the week is not looking all that great. As that southern hemisphere swell drops off, a lot more of that onshore flow should start picking up, and that's going to probably bring in some wind problems, probably some heavy marine layer, drizzle maybe by Monday and Tuesday as well, lowering, of course, the daytime air temps as well. And then not a whole lot of swell on tap. A little bit of something on Wednesday coming up from the southern hemisphere from a Pitcairn system, but not a whole lot from that either. And then we're looking at something possibly coming up from the southern hemisphere around the 2nd. During that time frame, though, next week, especially when we start going into the middle of the week, we should start seeing some wind swell in the water, but conditions are real questionable. That's really about all that's happening across the Pacific right now. Sorry there isn't a whole lot of good news on the horizon, but no matter what, I'll be keeping an eye on it. I'll be keeping you posted. And if you want to keep an eye on all the ETAs on the swell, weather, wind, tide, and more, just check out my SoCal Surf Report at wetsand.com.